morning, it's March 23rd, and this is To My Liberal Friends. Fossil fuel companies are under attack, and the attack is no greater than what's going on in California. They are fully caught up in the green movement, and we have watched them dictate to home builders that their new houses must be all electric, and they are following the mandates to eliminate gas stoves. All of this in the name of climate change, and they are determined to make you follow them. Today, the California State Senate passed a bill that would penalize oil companies for price gouging. I'm not sure how anyone determined what price gouging is, but they passed it anyway, and they have it on a fast track to send the bill to Governor Gavin Newsom, who is anxious to put his signature on the bill. The bill has to go to the state assembly first, but the Democratic-controlled body is sure to pass it and send it on to the governor's desk. The bill would authorize the State Energy Resources Conservation and Development Commission to set a maximum gross gasoline refining margin, and then establish a penalty for any California-based refineries that exceed that margin. The commission would be required, however, to consider a refiner's request for an exemption from that maximum margin. Good luck with getting one of those in California. Does any of this sound like a state-controlled economy to you? Does it sound like something you would find in Russia or China? If they can do this to oil companies, what will stop them from doing it to industry that these politicians deem to be charging more than they think they should charge? I love to drink Diet Dr. Pepper. The price has skyrocketed, and I have to make a decision on how much I can drink, but I'm not asking the state to dictate what the price is. So forget that none of these legislators have any expertise in the industry they're regulating, but it'll make them appear to be fully woke, and that's their ultimate goal. Now, I've got a suggestion for oil companies on how to combat this lunacy. Tell the citizens of California that you understand their desire to be fully green and fully dependent upon renewable energy. Then shut down all your fossil fuel energy plants and close all your gas stations in the state of California. They're already paying a higher cost for their fuels than any other place in the country. When the citizens complain they do not have gas for their automobiles, just point to the idiots in Sacramento and let them know you elected them, so we're only trying to comply with what they want. They want us, the fossil fuel industry, to be out of business. And so the only alternative we are left with is to leave the state of California completely. Let's be honest about what's going on in California. Fossil fuel companies face an existential threat as the state shifts to a carbon-neutral future. Lawmakers have already set a deadline to ban the sale of new gasoline-powered vehicles. State and local officials have restricted, or in some cases banned, new oil wells. Some cities in California have even banned non-electric lawnmowers. Time to read the handwriting on the wall and get out while the getting is good. And Governor Newsom has made it very clear that he intends to put the fossil fuel industry out of business in the state of California. Why would any company make any further investment in a state that says, we want you out of here? And make no mistake, I support continuing development of renewable fuels, but the technology for both solar and wind is just not there yet. And the only way you're going to get the people of California to wake up and see how far left their politicians have gone is to completely leave the state. As I said, shut down those electricity plants and shut down your gas stations. Pretty hard to drive an electric car if you have nowhere to get electricity to charge the batteries. And those come from fossil fuel plants. Pretty hard to stay cool in the summer if you have no electricity to power your air conditioners. And that power comes from fossil fuel plants. Last year, the state of California had rolling blackouts and told people to limit when they're using electricity. And that included charging their wonderful electric cars. Anybody that looks at what's going on in California understands that the California gasoline market is unique in a number of ways. There are no crude oil pipelines into California from out of state. Refiners in the state have to produce cleaner gasoline from crude oil than other states, meaning other states' gas can't be supplied directly to California stations. That means shutting down those refineries only affects the people in California. California also has high fuel standards that cost more, and California imposes one of the highest excise taxes on wholesale oil. They also impose higher gas taxes at the pump than other states. I think you're getting the message here, and now's the time to drive that message home to the people of California that only they have the power to put an end to this foolishness. Some companies have figured this out. There's limited competition in California. Just 5 companies, Chevron, Marathon, Valero, PDF Energy, and Phillips 66, are still doing business in the state of California. Right now, California has twice as many licensed drivers per gas station as the rest of the country. Nobody in their right mind would open a new gas station in California knowing the state intended to put you out of business. Now, some would say I'm being facetious in this comment, and part of it actually is. But I think the effect, if the fossil fuel industry just completely bailed out of California and left on their own and told them they can exist on renewable energy, and that way they can have their cake and eat it too. If you think California was losing population before the exodus would be so massive that the states of Arizona, Nevada, and Utah would be flooded with Californians. Since I now live in Utah, we like to remind those that come from California not to bring their politics with them, and please don't Californicate us. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, recommend it to your friends and hit the subscribe button.